rise. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Did you know that almost 80% of all advertising is spent on digital? This is Dale Daniels, Digital Sales Manager for ESPN Arkansas, and due to the growth in digital advertising, we have the opportunity for the right person to join our team. Digital and radio advertising go hand in hand, and we're looking for someone to help businesses grow with this powerful combination. If you have experience in broadcast and digital marketing or business development, we want to hear from you. Email your resume to sales@hitthatline.com. Pearson Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, mainly clear sky, and overnight low will drop down into the low 60s. We're going to return to sunshine Wednesday, a high in the low to mid 80s. Wednesday night, mainly clear, and overnight low in the upper 50s. Thursday, sunshine, a high low 80s. And then Friday, we'll end up with a lot of sun, a high near 90. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve.
To 321
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 8 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the house. The dunk.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Hey, and good morning, and welcome in halftime here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Our countdown continues with 8 days before the kickoff of the Razorback football season, but we got games starting on Saturday. Really feels like the rhythm of the season starts for the team. I think it started on Monday with class opening up. We'll have our first Sam Pittman live radio show tonight at the Catfish Hole, 7 o'clock. So, I mean, Coach Pittman's been doing a lot of speaking these days. He was at the Little Rock Touchdown Club on Monday. Today he is speaking at the Hogs Illustrated luncheon in the middle of the afternoon, and then he's at Sam Pittman Live. So, I don't know how many times. Like, how much material do you think you've got to figure out here with some of the same questions potentially being asked from one place to the next? But I think it was a little over 30 minutes at the Touchdown Club. You usually do about the same at the Hogs Illustrated luncheon. And then Sam Pittman Live, I mean, he's not on for the whole hour, and it's Chuck, the one who's coming up with the material for him to talk about. But you kind of expect Matt Jones, it's like talking season is supposed to be over, right? Because we're practically at game week. But if you're the head coach, you still got a lot of talking to do. The coordinators, on the other hand, they do their last talking yesterday in Bobby Petrino's case and today in Travis Williams' case. Sometimes, the job of a head coach, Matt, is big. It's a big thing. You're a CEO of essentially a corporation. The coordinators have very big jobs, maybe not quite as big, and they're the ones that just kind of get to coach and not talk very much during the season, which sounds like it might be an attractive thing.
Happy Wednesday. Yes, Phil, it's in the air. I'm just as excited as anybody. I think people are starting to believe, people are starting to buy in. It's exciting time right now. I mean, you as a player, you think back in this week, right? I mean, the kind of once you break camp and you get ready, that first game, no matter what, is the one you have the most anxiousness or the most butterflies or whatever you want to call it. And then usually by about 3 or 4 plays, it's all gone away, and then let's go to work. So, man, I think people are starting to believe, and it's I'm excited to see him play August 31st. I know we keep talking about it. The next couple weeks, I think you'll really. I mean, when you're a 58-point favorite, what are you really going to learn other than you're getting to hit another jersey? So yeah, that September 7th game against Oklahoma State, I think, will tell us a little bit, and then it gets going, man. There's nobody's going to feel sorry for you, and it doesn't get any easier.
The line's done some heavy moving since it came out.
What, to go to 72?
It went in the other direction. 47.5, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean, honestly, here.
Nobody's
who's
giving
buying
us a
into
chance.
52.5 or anything between that and
47, nobody's giving us a chance. You got to wear that with chip on your shoulder right there.
That's hilarious. There's like the idea of, did you see the movement of the betting line over the last 5 days? Boys, get out there, and I need to see a 53-point win now.
I'll tell you something that I bet you UAPB doesn't score 21 points. Like, I don't know if that's
going
going
I say hope to? Like, I'd really
on a limb.
rather them not score 3 touchdowns.
UAPB, our athleticism, our defensive front, what we do with the ball, they're not going to score 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the defensive front, I think, is one of the strengths of this team. Heck, when you listen to Bobby Petrino talk, when Sam Pittman has talked, even about how the offensive line has performed during the spring and in the August camp, it becomes pretty apparent that the way they're viewing this is that the front, the defensive front up at the line of scrimmage, may be at least the best strength defensively and maybe the overall best strength. Man, are they going to get tested against Oklahoma State, right? A team that returns, I think, the entire offensive line, quarterback, running back. That's definitely going to. So who knows what the line of that game is going to be yet? I guess that'll probably depend on how Arkansas looks against UAPB. You starting to feel the buy-in from fans? I'm kind of detecting some of it too on our text line, 877-377-6963. Detecting some of it on our calls and on social media. But I also wonder, Matt, and I'd even mentioned it with Alyssa Orange, who joined us yesterday. There's always going to be skeptical fans. I mean, some of them will view themselves as being realistic, and I think a lot of that's based upon just what you saw last year and whether or not you like Sam Pittman as the coach. I view it more as skepticism than realism, and I would view the same thing on the other side. It's not realistic to think Arkansas necessarily is going to go out and win 8 to 9 games, but you can be hopeful, and you can feel reason why you think that can happen. I mean, I was reading Otis Kirk. We've had Otis on a couple of times in the last couple of months from Hogville, one of the more respected writers that covers Arkansas football. He's predicting an 8-win season. Now, I mean, some people text in and say, well, that means he's a proprietor of the Kool-Aid. But he's got real reason to feel that. He knows what this team is made of as far as the personnel is concerned. And I think a lot of the skepticism about the team is because you don't know very much of the personnel of this team. With all the comings and goings because of the portal, it's kind of difficult to get to put your finger on like what I'm thinking might be the number one strengths of the team, which is the defensive line and the front 7, maybe more of the front 4. But hey, I mean, I feel Otis is being pretty honest about this. I'm not going to be making any season predictions as to how many wins this team is going to have. But I will tell you, it's going to be better than 4, and I think they're going to be better in close games.
That's the thing. And the truth of the matter is, what were there, 6 one-score games last year? That's just the nature of football. There's not as many blowouts as you think. A lot of them come down to 3, 4, 5 plays a game, and you're hoping that Petrino, his war rating is advantage you guys, and it's going to come down to third down. I think Petrino even said this, that you're not as worried about Taylor Green's completion percentage. What you're worried about is, does he get him into the right play, and how is his percentage on third down? What is his decision making on the money down? What is it in the red zone? Can't turn the ball over in the red zone. You know, one of the things you can't do if you're at the 27-yard line going in, let's say you're in the gun, something happens and you can't take a sack. You got to get rid of the ball and make sure you throw it back to the line of scrimmage. Can't take an 11-yard sack and take yourself out of field goal range, and then you can't even go for it on fourth down if you want to. So just the little stuff like that keeps the change moving forward, I think, a help. And then also run the ball. If we can run the ball again, I don't think there's any you can't deny the correlation to the fact that we won one conference game, and it was the one game we had a running back go over 100 yards. You got to have a running back going. It opens up everything else. When they have to stop the run, then you can play action. You can quick game. You can get one-on-one with Armstrong outside. What did KJ do so well that year that we won? We went to got to play Penn State in a bowl game. Man, it would be third down. It would be second down. Whatever. You saw your boy that went to play for the Titans. He keeps getting hurt. I don't know. Sometimes
Traylon Burks.
You saw Traylon Burks out there one-on-one. That's where we're going with the ball. That has to be part of your all. We didn't have that last year. We didn't have a guy that say, hey, we can go get it one-on-one. We can throw it to him. I think we have that with Armstrong.
You might have that with a couple others too, just based upon what
based on matchups. That's right. You don't always, and that's the beauty of it. And we talked about this yesterday, Phil. 20 years ago, you had to have one receiver. Now you have to have 3. And so if you got somebody else that has a matchup, they're going to be somebody that they're matched up on man. You can't ask for anything than to have your best guy one-on-one. That's where I'm going with the ball. If you can't win that, then you got to change your major.
Petrino said yesterday he'd like to see, I think he said 6. If you're just talking about the depth of the position at wide receiver to be able to rotate guys in and out. And he did. So Monty Harrison is going to be a contributor for this team.
Red zone threat, matchup. Well, you can't guard him with a nickel because he's too big. You know, can he? The thing you want to see is, can he create separation outside the numbers? I haven't seen that because we know nobody's seen. Clay Henry's seen it. We'll have him on in a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to have Clay Henry on in about 50 minutes. He'll join us top of the hour from 12 until 2. Grant Hall will join us as well for his usual Wednesday segment. Coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes or so. We'll have a lot of time for calls and texts once we get to the bottom of the hour around 11:30. But, Matt, would you say that you're, because you sound optimistic and you sound hopeful at the same time, but there's a difference between the two. When you're optimistic, sometimes that's more about just how you view life. Hopeful, I think that's kind of a usual reaction that a fan would have, like I might have or used to have with the Pittsburgh Pirates in spring training days, more like 15, 20 years ago, and I've become completely jaded. And yes, I am the person who is always viewing that franchise skeptically. And I understand why fans of Arkansas football feel like they have reason to be skeptical of the program now. I mean, you've been shown that over the last 12, 13 years. So I just don't know how much of it is grounded in what we might view as realism. So that I guess that's my the little English lesson for today. Quick break on halftime, and Grant Hall, a master of English, joins us in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
We fought back. We took a punch, and we answered back.
He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. Tebow saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's a stunning way to go somewhere new in the 2024 Buick Encore GX from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on the Buick Encore GX. The Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% on the 2024 Buick Encore GX. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
All I thought you'd given me is conscience, I guess. If I were walking in your shoes, I wouldn't be worried none. Are you and your friends are worried about me? I'm having lots of fun. Counting flowers on the wall. That's not bothering me at all. Playing solitaire too long with the deck of 51. Cigarettes and watching Captain Good. Now don't tell me nothing to do. Last night, dressed in tails, pretending I was on the town. Long as I can dream, it's hard to slow the swinger down. So please don't give a thought to me, I'm really doing fine. You can always find me here and having a quiet time. Counting flowers on the wall.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And we appreciate you tuning in here on Halftime today. Get a chance to talk with Grant Hall, who joins us every Wednesday morning. And I got a chance to stand there next to Grant in the at the left field bullpen it was Thursday, right, Grant, when Verlander pitched for the Naturals, and now he's back with the Astros today. He's supposed to get back on the pitcher's mound for Houston.
Yeah, how much fun was that? Just seeing him, the way he goes about things, he can still lean down and touch the ground without bending his knees at age 41. That's pretty good, And he aired it out there in that fourth inning, didn't he? Got up to 96 miles an hour a few times and struck out the side. So he seems to be ready.
When's the last time I can touch my toe? If I did it right now, my face would be down by the floor and not near the microphone, so I can't pull it off. I can touch the floor. Matt, I know you can too. Grant, when's the last time you touched the floor?
It's been a while. I read about it. When Sam Snead was 70, he could still kick an 8-foot ceiling, they say, and how limber he was. I can't do that, Matt. So are you still in pretty good shape?
Well, when I like to golf and I got away from it a little bit, but I got back to it last year. I was talking to Phil about this. I stretch over 30 minutes a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. So you getting your stretching in, and man, that's it's a key. It's just key for your core and for your back, and you want to go out there and golf and not hurt the next day.
Well, speaking of golf, Matt, I just read this thing about Stacey Lewis. She. In essence, she is the defending champion of the Women's British Open at St. Andrews, because the last time they played there was 2013 when she won and birdied the 17th and 18th holes, and she was remembering all that in a presser. She's paired, you could sort of call it the nostalgia pairing, with Kari Webb, who's won there, and Katrina Matthew. Kari is 49 years old. Katrina is 54, almost 55. And so those three will go out together at St. Andrews tomorrow on a day when it's projected to rain sideways. It's going to be like 40 to 45 mile an hour wind, some rain. They're hoping they can not stop play for a while. And so Stacey said, I love it like this. She said that's going to eliminate about 60% of the field. They're going to look at these conditions and basically say to heck with it. And she likes it. I mean, she grew up playing in that kind of wind in Texas, not necessarily that kind of cold weather they're expecting. But she's excited about it. And, of course, she's the Solheim Cup captain. And so is, by the way, Lexi Thompson. And I was just reading a thing about her. She's sort of retiring after this year, but she's going to keep playing some majors. And actually, don't be surprised if Stacey names her to the Solheim Cup team this year, which will be great.
Man, that sounds awesome. If Grant, I want to ask you this, because if I had one tournament to win, I know everybody likes Augusta, I get that, but mine would be the British Open. If you could choose one major that you wanted to win as a golfer, which one would it be?
Well, I think it would probably be that. My wife and I went to the British Open in 2000 when Tiger won by 8 shots.
Wow.
And so I was there every day, and I said to her this week, you want to go back? And she said, sure. Now the weather doesn't sound as conducive, and we'd have to figure out something to do with our dog. It's kind of late now, to be doing that. But I will be watching on TV and hoping Stacey can sort of bring back her golf game.
There was this question I heard the other day, and I think it was kind of to like a Schauffele-Scheffler type question. And and I know my answer. If you went through a PGA Tour season and you won one major, but you had 5 total victories, or you went through a PGA Tour season and you won 2 majors but didn't win any other tournament that year, I'm taking the 2 majors all day over 5 victories with one of them being a major.
And you know what, Matt, that's how I'm going to vote Player of the Year. I'm going to vote for Schauffele, even though Scotty Scheffler has sort of 7 wins. If you count last week,
count the gold medal.
Xander rallied and finished a shot ahead of Schauffele, and they're in this playoff thing now, and it could come down to. I think Scheffler's going to win just because of. He won the Masters and the Players and the Olympics, and he's going to win the thing. But I value the majors, so I'm going to vote for Xander.
Hey, Grant, we got 8 days until Arkansas football kicks off. Sam Pittman has a lot of talking that he does today. Hogs Illustrated Luncheon, Sam Pittman Live. And I've started to settle in on the idea that I think the number one strength of this team this year, before we even see them play, is the defensive front. And I'll go with the front four instead of the front seven, because I just haven't I don't know enough about the linebackers. But what I do know is that I think, Cam Ball, Kiwi Rose, Landon Jackson, Anton Junkaj, Nico DeValier, a couple others that I'm just that aren't coming to mind, but I think it's a deep group. I think there'll be success there, and that's independent of what happens against Oklahoma State, because I do think that 2 games in doesn't necessarily tell you everything you have, and who knows, maybe they'll, I don't know if I'd say shut them down, but limit them a little bit. And I wonder, is there a position group that you feel most confident in for Arkansas football at the moment?
That's really a good question. I don't disagree with what you're saying about the defensive line, because Bobby told us last night. Bobby Petrino said they had the offensive line was beating them at the end of the spring, and they came back and the defensive line was holding sway. Now he said it's come to the point now where he even thinks the offensive line has got a little bit ahead, but that's a good group. I think linebacker is probably deeper than some people think. They got some good ones there. And again, I think the secondary is I talked to Mike Irwin yesterday, and he thinks the defense is a lot better than most people think. When you look at this Arkansas team, Matt and Phil, I mean, we were talking last week about 6.5, 7 wins. To me, it's like if you could tell me each week who is healthy, like if Talon Green can play 12 games healthy, then I think they've got a shot to be pretty good. Now it drops off after that. And by the way, he did throw 2 interceptions in that scrimmage. One of them, Bobby was indicating, probably should have been caught by the offense, and it was tipped. And Singleton threw 2. He's the second guy that they bring in now, and so you sort of wonder what this team would be like without Talon Green.
I'm with you there. So that being said, and I think that every year you need the backup to be ready. What do you want to see out of Singleton this first game? Because we kind of talked, Phil and I are talking like, well, it can really only hurt you if you don't go out there and win by enough points, or if you don't play well or have a lot of turnovers. But the backup quarterbacks should get to play this first game, August 30. Well, I guess it's the 29th now. What do you want to see out of the backup?
Well, I want to see his running ability on display. I mean, Arkansas is favored by 52 or something in this game. So, assuming he gets to play a little bit, they haven't not even been tackling him, and so that's Bobby was indicating. That's hamstringing him. So that's what he can show is his running ability. Together with some passing, and who knows? I mean, I'd like to even see a third quarterback out there. A guy that no one has talked about is this guy from South Florida, Bota, who is a left-hander who can really throw it well, but probably you'd see KJ Jackson before him if that many guys got to play.
Yeah, we've detected some optimism on social media and on our text line and on the phone calls. But I probably detect a little bit more in terms of skepticism too, and that's also why the other day at the Touchdown Club, I mean, Sam Pittman is talking about you got to believe in the Hogs, and that he's tired of wants to hear a little more positivity instead of the negativity. And I don't think that was just trying to communicate towards any national columnists. I think that was more towards the fan base, or even the people that he was speaking in front of at the embassy suites. So, what are you detecting?
Well, he's had a good time sort of being a GA. In other words, coaching these offensive linemen. I've watched him do it. It's been a whole practice, or what we could see the other day, watching him do that. I went through some notes from last year at the end of the year, and he talked about they got to fix the offensive line. They think they've done that through the portal. They got this guy Carmona is such a popular guy on the team. He's good. Blackstock, some other guys' names you aren't familiar with. Now Kutas' health is a question. He's doing some things now, but really in Marion Harris, they've liked what he's done replacing him, and Bobby talked about him yesterday too. So there's another, I think, a potential strength on this team, and several guys can play center. They've worked at it. So that one might surprise, the national media a little bit too. I know Feinbaum apparently was not high on this team yesterday, and that's fine. I mean, they're picked 14th in the SEC, so let them lie in the weeds a little bit.
Nobody's high on them. That covers the league outside of anybody that might be covering the team specifically. If you were to look, I mean, how many lists has Sam Pittman been on as the coach that's most in danger of being fired? And I don't think that's come from local writers or regional. It's been people that cover the SEC as a whole or college football as a whole. I mean, I think the national understanding of Arkansas football is that they're looking at what happened last year and expecting a little bit of the same.
Yeah, and I think the chemistry is good on the team. The football team believes they're better than all that, and even media who cover it, such as we can, think that Arkansas is better than that. But as I keep saying, we don't see the other 15 SEC teams either, and they're all pretty good. Most of them are. So it's going to be fascinating to see how it shakes out.
And we'll talk about it next week because we'll be a day away from kickoff when we visit with you next, Grant. Appreciate your time, man.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, see you guys.
Thanks, Grant.
Grant Hall joins us each Wednesday on Halftime, 877-377-6963. Anytime you want to get with us on our hotline. And we'll be back after this quick break.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Call Jason Hill in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Go to hitthatline.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I love you so much, can't count on the ways I died for you, girl, and all I can say he's not your kind. You never get tired of pulling me down, and I never know when I come around that I'm gonna fight. Don't let the rain rock your mind. Don't you know, don't take my hand.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We're only three segments into the show. We've had two music comebacks, and I feel I have a sense of what theme we have going on today. Fits pretty well. Does that mean we can do no Pulp Fiction movie quotes and just the soundtrack?
Well, what the first hour we were going to do 3 songs off that. The next hour we might do 3 songs off Reservoir Dogs.
So it's a Tarantino day.
Well, that's what we talked about yesterday, and we are for the people, Phil. We do this show for the people.
We did get a request,
and we got a request for it to continue. I was like, who? Nobody actually listens to us when we say we're going to do something, And so it's like, well, sure, because I had 9 songs wrote down for today, and then maybe we'll do these 9 tomorrow.
It sounds like the quarterback called an audible.
You got to know what the defense is in.
Wait a minute, there's defense? Maybe not so much. Our defense is our own brains, blocking our own thoughts. Does that work for you? Because that works for me. Hey, by the way, speaking of a Tarantino movie and Tarantino actor, Michael Madsen was arrested, I think it is this morning, for domestic violence. Posted $20,000 bond, and this is just coming out now. So I guess it's all you didn't know that. So this isn't a matter of picking newsworthy music, though. Madsen wasn't in Pulp Fiction, but he was in Reservoir Dogs.
He's in a lot of his movies that
Kill Bill.
He's in Django. He's in he's in the Hateful Eight. He's in he had some scenes that got cut in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But he in the extended version he's in there. But I like him as an actor. I just you hear domestic abuse and there's never any reason for it. You just wonder what the real story is and if we'll ever hear like what really happened. I
agree. And you still haven't heard everything that went on with
Dana White.
Dana White, and why am I forgetting the name of the Ole Miss basketball coach, Chris Beard? None of the details came out from that because I think there was a non-disclosure agreement signed about it. Maybe at some point we'll get the real story of why J-Lo decided to file for divorce this morning.
Well,
see about this from Ben Affleck on the 2nd anniversary of their marriage.
I thought her 8th one would stick. I was really pulling for those
the new
kids.
Elizabeth Taylor, right?
I was pulling for those kids. I thought, 8, Troy Aikman, we're 8 days away. Lamar Jackson, whatever you want to do, and Man, those lovebirds, I was going for them.
Well, so it looks like she's only been married 4 times, but that's still a lot. Half of 8. And hey, at the age of 55, she's
got a couple more in her.
She's on the same path that Liz Taylor was on.
Mark Anthony, Benifer twice, or she called it off.
It was only once, yeah.
Yeah, they called it off. Puffy, P. Diddy, was she married to Diddy?
I don't think they got married.
And did she marry a backup dancer, or was that Britney Spears that married a backup dancer for? I wonder if who's
Kate
close.
Bed. Oh man,
who's the better actress musician marriage material? Britney Spears or Jennifer Lopez? Jennifer Lopez, right?
I feel we might have like a couple hours to think on that and have an answer by the end of the show.
That's what we're for the people. I'm sure the audience. That's what they want to know.
That's right. That's the request that just came in. 877-377-6963. Brian has called us up here today as well. Brian, how you doing, man? What's new?
Hey, I'm good. How are y'all doing?
Great, thank you.
Good. Hey, I just had a question. I know that everybody thinks that Arkansas has improved, and maybe they have, and I guess we'll see in next week to begin with. But with that being said, Arkansas, if they have improved, I'm looking at 9 other teams on their schedule that have probably improved greatly too. So, I'm just kind of wondering, everybody thinks that Arkansas may get more than 4 wins. I see 3. I'm just kind of trying to figure out who y'all think they might beat, and I'll just hang up and listen.
Well, yeah, and that's the rub. That is the rub in this. The feeling for me is that I think it's a much improved roster, but that also goes up against the idea of how improved is Auburn. How much better is A&M than they were last year? How much better coached are they than they were last year in terms of head coach? Tennessee, coming in. You got a couple people that do cover national football that think that Arkansas's got a really good chance at home against Tennessee, against a freshman quarterback.
Every one of your games at home that are up there in Fayetteville, you got a chance. It's just the nature of how tough it is to win on the road. You get a home field. You got something, the ball can go your way. I've seen it happen. We saw Ole Miss come in 2 years ago and just absolutely lay an egg. It was a cold night. So every game at home, you kind of got to give them a chance. It's the road games. That's what Pittman wins, 1 road game a year. That's kind of, if you look at his record, that's about what you're getting. We got to find a way you got to protect your home, got to find a way to win a couple on the road.
Independent of the idea that, and I think you're right, when you're playing at home, you really should have a chance. And going on the road is a really difficult thing. The road schedule is soft compared to the home schedule. The teams that are coming into Fayetteville this year, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas.
Those are all 4 just tough teams. You wouldn't be surprised if any one of those 4 teams were in the playoff 12.
You know what? You're right. You really wouldn't be all that surprised about it. All 4 of them.
They're all ranked in the top 25, aren't they?
Right in there. They're all in the top 20, not just top 25. That's right.
That's a tough schedule right there.
Yeah, going on the road to Auburn, A&M is a road game. It would have been A&M's home game. And then, what is it, Mizzou and Mississippi State? Yeah, a lot of this also it's like you want to project what you think the season's going to look like. You're talking more, Matt, about trying to break the season down into 3 game, kind of segments, I think was the term you used. How healthy are you after 3 games? If you've lost your left tackle, if you've lost Jaquindon Jackson, I don't know if Arkansas really ever was healthy where they needed to be at running back last year in terms of Rocket Sanders. And I'm not making that as an excuse. That's also just part of football, and you've got to have depth where you need depth. But it's like after those 3 games, if there's some injuries, and that's also the same idea as if Auburn, A&M, and Tennessee have some injuries too. And how do they look? How does Tennessee look against NC State when they go on the road and play them in Charlotte? How does Auburn look against Cal? I don't really know if that's going to tell you all too much, but Cal is an ACC team, so maybe it'll tell you a little bit. And what is Tennessee going to look like? A&M going to look like against Notre Dame and against Florida? Like, you'll have a sense of A&M before the Southwest Classic.
I'm a Colin Klein fan, Phil, as you know, and we'll see how that Elko defense goes on. A lot of people are, and I think Hugh Freeze is going to be good at Auburn. I would not be surprised if A&M wins 10 games this year. It'll be one of those. There's going to be somebody that's just it's going to be instant with the way the portal works, the way the talent they have, a new direction, a new message caller, somebody up there speak it. Somebody
that you don't have to record his speeches and then slow it down so you can understand what he says.
And they're on the same page. But I'm a Colin Klein fan. He had Kansas State just rocking. I think A&M's that team that could really make a jump this year.
You could hear in Brian's voice, like he's got the skepticism too, but there's also a little bit of like almost like a weird hopefulness there for him. I mean, he said he wants Arkansas to be good. Somebody's gotten to Brian in the last year because it's not even in the last year. It's since Texas lost in the playoff. You remember the day that they made the playoff, the day that the playoff 4 was released, he called up and the first thing he did was gleefully squeal into the microphone or into the phone. Now he's kind of changed his tone a little bit. He's a little bit nicer, and it actually sounds like he wants Arkansas to be good.
If you remember that game too, they had some guys with speed that would get the ball, and they kind of beat themselves. You know, they were turning the ball over. That was the game. You'd kind of take. I mean, how many more chances is Texas going to be in that chance to have a chance to win? And then I think of the Ravens last year in the playoff game where they were fumbling the ball around. They kind of beat themselves too. You know, Lamar Jackson could have beat that narrative, but then you kind of beat yourself. It kind of stinks.
So, I mean, you know, Brian, I guess, wanted us to go through the schedule and say, well, this game is gettable, I think is the term that Ruskin and Zach used. That game is not, so on and so forth. I have a difficult time looking at a season that way, just because, like you're talking, Matt, there are the segments to it. The team you start the season with is not the team that you're playing Ole Miss with on November the 2nd. It's not the same team that you're going to play against Texas with. By that point, you'll know you'll have known what kind of team you have probably 4 games in, and then you go from there. So the only thing that I feel I know is that it is an improved roster and an improved coaching staff in a couple of spots where it needed to be improved, specifically on offense. But then there's also that idea, like Brian brought up, and this is the truth of this. This is why I feel like all of these prognostications really don't. They really don't have much value to it. We don't know how these teams really are all going to shake out. A lot of these teams are a lot different than they were the year before. Oklahoma State is not quite that much different. That's why you have a kind of a sense of who it is you're going to be facing. They've got most of their offensive players from last year coming back. I think it's 7 or 8 of them that are going to be starting again. So maybe in that sense, you do have a sense. That's why you point to the Arkansas offensive line as a potential weakness. And yeah, maybe it is a weakness, but you can't base that upon last year. You have guys at different positions. You have completely different starters. You have grown men at positions where you had freshmen, redshirt freshmen, or second-year players. So it's the a new era of college football, Matt. I think in our minds now, you got to get away from the idea of looking at last year and that's going to have much to do about what this year is about. And I felt like that was kind of a little bit of the point that Bobby Petrino got at when he was talking. This was more about building a program back when he took over Arkansas.
So I think it's a little bit different now than there, because then you were like taking a lot of freshmen and growing them and, a lot of development, a lot of patience. Now with that portal being open and everything like that, you got to do it much quicker.
Too much coming, too much going, in with the old and in with the new. And new is different than old. 877-377-6963 when you want to get with us on halftime. And we're brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Been serving our listening audience for over 70 years and 4 generations. They're at the junction of I-40 and I-49, right beside the Cracker Barrel. Crabtree RV Center is going to make sure that your family has the absolute best experience choosing the right RV for your adventures. Everything you need is on site, including the service and parts department. Crabtree RV, online at crabtreerv.com. Back to wrap up our first hour of halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime.
The best selection, the best...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the
reasonable price.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Did you know that almost 80% of all advertising is spent on digital? This is Dale Daniels, Digital Sales Manager for ESPN Arkansas, and due to the growth in digital advertising, we have the opportunity for the right person to join our team. Digital and radio advertising go hand in hand, and we're looking for someone to help businesses grow with this powerful combination. If you have experience in broadcast and digital marketing or business development, we want to hear from you. Email your resume to sales@hitthatline.com. Pearson Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. Make me feel so brand new. I want to spend my life with you. And the same thing, baby, since we've been together. Oh, loving you forever.
is what I need.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Okay, so it's 4 marriages for J-Lo. Liz Taylor was married 8 times. I appreciate, forget who it was that texted in earlier, reminded us. Larry King was married 8 times. You want to take a wild guess at what is allegedly the world record of number of times getting married for a monogamous marriage?
So a marriage, then a divorce or an annulment, and then another marriage is what
and
you're
then
saying?
another marriage, yes, to a different person. Just throw a number out there.
Tim Duncan.
No, not a
21.
That's actually not far. Add 10.
Reggie Miller.
31 marriages. And I'm just getting this off of Wikipedia because everything on Wikipedia is 100% true. Glenn Wolfe, a Baptist minister and hotel owner who resided in Blythe, California. I love the term hotel owner because it says here, during his 7th marriage to a woman named Mary, Wolfe bought an all-woman hotel, later stopped operating the hotel and began operating a new hotel in Las Vegas. So all-woman hotel, what do you think that really was, huh?
Scouting service.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly what was it they were scouting? 29 different women. So I guess 2 of them decided to give him a second chance, which is kind of shocking when you think about it. And when he died, body went unclaimed. None of the women that he married showed up, and only one of his, this story says, approximately 19 children either attended the service. So quite an interesting life by American Baptist minister Glenn Wolfe. I'm hoping this is a true story. That's 31 marriages over a life that went 80. He lived 89 years. That's a lot going on there.
Sounds. I don't even know if I know 31 people.
That's exact. That was the next thing I thought of. Outside of the athletes and the coaches, I don't think I know 31 people. The texters. We've got all sorts of texters that come in. That's probably the length of most of the people that I would know too. Wow. 877-377-6963 to get with us here. Did you hear this? The other thing about this divorce is that J-Lo is doing this pro se, which I didn't know what that meant till I looked it up today. Means no lawyer is involved. I can't imagine that this is the kind of thing that actually goes to court. There was no prenup. It's not like, I don't even think that they were truly together for the 2 years of the marriage either.
I bet Ben's like, okay, I'll see you around. It's like, yeah, take your stuff. Ben don't care. Ben's like, it's
just time to walk outside and smoke a cigarette again for him. There's going to be that next photo for him. I was told we were all supposed to believe in love now that they were able to reconnect 22, 23 years after they initially decided to not get married. And yeah, it turns out 20, however many years later, it didn't work out for them. Very sad, very sad. 877-377-6963.
The next time J-Lo gets married, on the last page of the marriage, it will be the divorce page, and it's like, we'll just fill it out now, so we don't have to get the lawyers. So and then we'll go sign the date in later. Like, I mean, she's figured it out by now.
Well, I mean, there's a beginning and an end to most things, right? And I guess in a lot of terms, you might say, well, till death do we part. I don't know if she really. Like, that probably needs to be taken out of the vows if you've been married 4 times, 5 times. And I'm not saying that with any kind of judgment upon it whatsoever, because if you're in a relationship that doesn't make you happy, why stay? But I wonder if anybody was really happy 31 times. Clay Henry, he's a very happily married man. He'll be joining us for the next couple of hours on Halftime. You can join us at 877-377-6963, and Halftime is right back.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Are you interested in saving money on your heating bills and upgrading your home's energy efficiency? Now's the time. Installing or upgrading to natural gas allows you to take advantage of high-efficiency appliances that save energy and money. From furnaces to water heaters to gas dryers and fireplaces, there's a natural gas option to fit your home and your budget. What's not to love about that? Don't wait. Call AOG today at 800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, energy for life.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the state. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Tonight, we'll end up with a mainly clear sky, upper 50s to near 60. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, low to mid 80s. And then Friday, sunny skies, a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 8 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
One minute after noon on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Halftime continues. Phil Elson along with Matt Jones. Christian Johnston is producing, and we head right to near the Norfolk River where the one and only Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins us up until 2 o'clock when we pass the baton over to Ruskin and Zach, and we always appreciate having you with us today. Clay, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon.
Matt, everybody, Christian. Yep.
Fisherman Clay.
It's good to be here. Yep.
8 days away
Gosh, it's
from
beautiful
kickoff.
over here.
It is.
I
Does
guess
it feel like football weather to you right now? It feels like it to me.
I was out really early this morning, and it's 56. Yeah, that's and
it's like October
a little
football
bit of a
weather.
breeze. Yeah, a little bit of a breeze. You know, it's like I had on a short sleeve fishing shirt on. That's just my daily attire, and some cool jeans on. KUHL. If anybody knows what those are, but they're so. I was like, man, this feels good out here.
Does feel good, but it's only going to get hot once again next. I saw
it is
95-degree kickoff potentially for Arkansas UAPB. So I mean that's kind of what you expect though when you're playing a game.
And I mean the folks that
in August.
So what's the tailgate situation going to be like? I mean, will you think it'll still be in full bloom out there on the golf course? It's not a golf course anyway anymore.
That's right. I don't even know what goes on what the golf course used to be.
I think people just kind of hike across it. You know, they cut across. I mean, people always have cut across there. I don't know if you realize that, but when you were playing golf, people cut across and they wave at you and try not to hit them. I played a lot of golf there, guys.
I know you did, and I spent a lot of time over in War Memorial Park at Ray Winder Field, and yes, at War Memorial Stadium too. I was always kind of interested, though, in the archery area, which was over by the entrance to the freeway. That must have gone away along with the golf course. If you can't have golf, you can't have archery either, right?
Yeah, so number 12 ran back there. It's a par 5, and it came back to the north. And it came all the way up to the road. It's the longest hole out there. And to the right, which is towards the zoo, is where they dumped the elephant dung. You did not hit your ball down there. You did not want to whiff of that. I mean, you could
distinctive smell.
Oh yeah, and I just pretended like that was out of bounds. That was a bad place to go. So yeah, so my dad grew up caddying there in the 30s, the Depression, and he would caddy double, and then also go 36 holes. So and I think he would bring home $3.
That's actually a lot of money. It
was a lot of money in Depression time. Yep.
I mean, I'd expect it's going to be a good tailgating scene because it's the people. A lot of these folks, they don't tailgate at games at Razorback Stadium.
No,
a lot of them don't
this
go
is
to
their
games
deal. Yeah,
at Razorback Stadium. So this is their one chance to do it.
Yeah.
And maybe the heat, I think, will have something to do with whether or not people go inside the stadium. With some of the issues that occurred last year, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. But I don't think it'll keep people away from the X golf course and hanging out around a tailgate or vans and watching whatever's on television, including the game, and drinking with their buddies and having fun. I know people that'll be there, and you know why they're going? Because they've always gone. It's like it's an instinct for them.
Well, the way I always have understood it, you know what buddy is where. And they, it's kind of like when you go to church, you sit in the same seat every day. I mean, Gene and I always go to the same row and sit in the same pew. I mean, I don't know why you do that, but you do. So everybody knows where their tailgate spot are. So, you go around and have, a sip of something here or there, a bite of this or that. I used to go early and walk through the tailgate area. I kind of quit doing that. But it's pretty cool. I like that part of the game. Some people will not come in. I get that. It's just tailgating.
Second year I worked at the Travelers, and they were still playing at Ray Winder Field. I mean, we would rent out the parking lot to Coca-Cola or whatever company that wanted to use it, but we would also have
corporate
a chance to hang out there as well. But then our groundskeeper, this was so much fun. He took me on, and there was a couple of other people in our John Deere Gator. That was the thing that he took all around the ballpark with all of the field equipment. But that also went through every single row of all the tailgaters. And I can't remember what game it was, but I think it was an SEC game in 2002 or 2003. And that was a moment that it really hit me. It's like, my gosh, look at the scene here. And it's a lot different than games at Razorback Stadium. it's just it's so much closer to the stadium than where a lot of the tailgating happens in Fayetteville. And I feel like that's got to have an impact when you're coming in on the bus, Matt. Now it's not as many people at the game that'll be at Razorback games in Fayetteville, but they're all around the stadium, and it just has to have an impact when you see it.
The atmosphere is amazing. I mean, that's one of the reasons like you like to play in the SEC. I know we talk about it a little bit with basketball and baseball, but it really is. It's second to none.
That's all that, the golf course, the stadium, everything, that's hallowed ground to me. And I know that there are a lot of people in different parts of the state that don't get it. But that's the people in Central Arkansas, that's their game, man.
They don't sit on their hands and wait for you to make a play. Not that they're just not used to it. They're loud the entire time. It's just a different set of noise.
And just the whole the history of that place, I get it, and others don't. Where that Wendy's is, that's the house that my family lived in when I was born, right across the street. And I grew up within a mile of there. My 18 years of, my formative years, walked to football games from my house. My dad would
heck, you could have crawled across the street.
Well, we moved to 18th and Fair Park, so that's a little bit south of there, when I was in junior high and high school. But my dad would get it, if they didn't sell out a game or there was some extra seats, somebody, a corporation might have had some they weren't going to use, he would walk around the neighborhood and hand them out. I mean, you talk about that. Anything else he didn't really matter. Our neighborhood, he was the king. He would walk around handing out Razorback tickets. And people walked to the game. We walked together.
When I think of that Wendy's, I think of nostalgia for a completely different reason. It has more to do with like burgers and chili at 1:30 a.m.
I get it.
From hanging out after games at Ray Winder Field. Oh, man. Could have walked there, too. Probably should have walked in some cases. But, yeah, look, there's 2 games left in this contract. And, it's not real. I don't know if this is the kind of thing that will even be a conversation in 3 years.
Probably not.
Outside of just the nostalgia of it. And,
that's what it is for me.
Well, that's what it, and I feel like one of the other things about the game next week that gets to me a little bit is that, it's not the best opponent. Look, it's just not an exciting opponent outside of the idea of, and how many times do you hear this? Oh, I can't wait to see the band. It's just the band. That's I think for some reasons, just, the opponent doesn't get them excited, but the halftime show does.
It gets me excited. I love it. Yeah.
A lot of them will be gone by the time the second half rolls around, and who knows if we have the same situation from last time these 2 teams played, where you have a running clock. I kind of hope so. Don't tell me that Arkansas. I don't.
Well, you want to take care of your business. That's right.
Yeah, but I don't care if they cover or not. But I also think of the idea. It's like, all right, 95 degrees. Who knows if it ever gets into the 80s, even with the sun going down at that point. I don't think you want your ones out there for very long.
Well,
you want them to come back to you want to start the second half. Hey, one last drive, get the ball or whatever, and you probably want to defer and give them the ball first so you can get the ball to start the second half. You want to see your offense come back out to start the second half, one drive, and then let's go drink some Gatorade and let's see what the twos can do, because there's going to come a time during the season where there's going to be some twos that have to step up and make a play.
Injuries, you got it. Depth is so. I want to see him run the ball, and I think we saw in that the first game in Little Rock, they threw it around. They took advantage of some blitzes and some where they overcrowded the line of scrimmage. They couldn't run the ball, and they were turning guys loose. And the die was cast. We could tell that they were not a good run team. And they're vanilla. No, you need to line up, and account for every man and your quarterback. And Trino talked about that. Bobby, anybody that hasn't listened to Bobby's interview, 30 or 40 minutes, whatever it was from last night, go listen to that. He is so good at explaining things, and the quarterback has to be able to account for what they're doing on the defensive front. And he has to get all the checks and make sure they're not running it into the teeth of the defense. And he said that's quarterback play.
Bobby Petrino did address the offensive line at his press conference yesterday.
When we first started out, the thing that shocked me the most was that we were a little bit behind the defensive line as far as how we ended spring and running the ball and protecting the quarterback. And I feel like it took us 4 or 5 days. We started getting better, came at it. Another couple days, we're better. Now I feel like our offensive line is working together and starting to see what we saw at the end of spring ball and starting to actually go past where I feel like we were at the end of spring ball. And we're executing and doing both, being able to run the ball and throw it. And you know you got to do both.
So, and I wonder if a lot of this has to do with Kudus' injury and a lack of continuity at a couple of positions where you just weren't sure who was going to be at left guard or at center. And it seems for now, I know Kudus has returned to practice, but Amarian Harris they've said all the right things about Amarian Harris at left guard with Addison Nichols at center where he was expected to be. And there's been some continuity since the injury to Kudus, but that also makes me wonder if he's just come back to practice, will he be ready to go next Thursday?
Yeah, so this is my take on it. I watched Friday and visited with some people and stayed out there for the whole practice, and that's what I was watching is Amarian Harris controlling that left guard position like he did when he played right guard in the bowl game against Kansas. I mean, he had to step in and play that game without a lot of preparation.
That was a game where Tykees Crawford got hurt early in the game.
Exactly, and he did really well, and he's been in this fluctuation with his weight. He's way too big, then got way too little, or lost a lot of it did the Burlsworth thing is what I call it. Get rid of all that baby fat, and then you put back lean muscle on. And it took him a little longer than maybe some people suspected, but he's back over 300 pounds, probably 310, and has really had a good camp. And they're going to play them both, and then game tape evaluation, somebody's going to, in the next 2 or 3 games, somebody's going to claim that position, or they'll play them both. But he's going to play because he's earned playing time with what he's done in camp. And that, Kudus has got to come back and show them that he can play on Harris's level.
See, and I remember last year the issue was at left tackle specifically. Look, there were other issues on the offensive line.
Oh, it was both tackles.
But left tackle was a big deal because you had Manuel go down with the injury early. Chambly was the starter, was not ready. It never really looked like Manuel was ever really fully back, and I think he's transferred to Florida. So I'm not exactly sure where he fits into their plans or on their depth chart or anything. But that was the position where things really started to get unshuffled. And I know right tackle was also a weakness, but it does seem like in this case it's not a matter of, well, we're given the position of this guy because he's just the next man up. Hey, from what you're talking about, Harris has earned that role for the time being.
So they kind of had visions of him being left tackle, and I think maybe next year, he will, because I think Carmona will go to the NFL because he deserves it, not because he just wants to. I think he's that kind of a player, and that's what Petrino has told me. He said he's a Sunday guy. Well, I think Harris will move back out there and do well at left tackle. That's where they were grooming him. But it's like, all right, when you get it, somebody goes down, your next best player moves into that spot because he can still play left tackle if something happens, and you have Kudus back. But all 3 of the guys that they played significant time at tackle last year are either not at that position or they're not here anymore. Chambly, he gave up football.
Did he really? Cause I remember he said he was looking to go transfer somewhere. I don't remember seeing if he got anywhere.
Some back problems, some other things. Mm-hmm. I think he gave it up. But it's, I think Bobby's happy with what they're doing in the offensive line, and happy with what Taylor Green is doing, able to check and get in and out of plays. But that's fascinating stuff to listen to him because there's not a lot of fluff there. I mean, it's just matter of fact, here it is. And I appreciate that about Bobby, and always did. I covered him. I loved it. I mean, if you wanted to talk football, he talked football. If you want to get into other crap, he's not. That's not him. By the way, the piece that I did a few weeks ago, I think is going to run this week at Hogs Plus, where he really breaks down the weak side, strong side, deals that he touched on a little bit yesterday, but we went into really detail of how his dad did it, why he did it, and then why they stopped at Missouri State. I think he can still do that here. In fact, I said, is there a chance, that you could just, flip your tackle somewhere? And he goes, in a minute.
In a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah.
By the way, Chambly left for Southern Methodist.
He's at SMU.
He is at SMU. I don't
that's
know.
Kind of quitting, isn't it?
Well, hey,
I'm
joking. Program, right?
I'm joking. They won a lot of games last year.
We'll see how they do this year, moving into a better football league. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. When we come back, don't forget about the specials today at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Wednesdays are Nacho Average Wednesday, so $1 off all nachos. That includes the 3-cheese carnita nachos, and you get $1 off all beers, draft, and bottles all day long. Tomorrow's Throwback Thursday with a rotation of Cuco's Classics. Fajita Friday will get you over there for $1 off all the fajitas. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th, across from Harps in Fort Smith, joesfortsmith.com. Back with Clay Henry and Matt Jones on halftime right after this.
This is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I'll bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
This is halftime.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hardworking. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm Branch Manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Up to $10,000 off on the manager specials at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. The front row is where it's happening, Troy.
Yes, it is. The manager specials. You know, y'all wanted it. We brought it back. We've got those units parked right there up front. They're up to $10,000 off of the original asking price. And you know, it's the end of the month. We've been talking about this. You get the discounts, and we're going to match your down payment of up to $2,500.
So if you got $1,000, it becomes $2,000, $1,500 becomes $3,000, up to $2,500. That just all of a sudden turns into $5,000.
Yes. I mean, Tommy, you're talking about free money here. This can eliminate negative equity. This can put you in a better equity position, lower your monthly payment. It's a win-win. Come down here and see us, Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. The best prices, the best customer service, and let us match your down payment of up to $2,500.
It's the manager specials, up to $10,000 off. They're on the front row at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
It's as sweet as candy. Its taste is on my mind. Me thirsty for another cup of wine. But from you, girl, need no cure. Stay affected if I can.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on Halftime, Clay Henry with us here as we take you through your 12 o'clock hour. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. I want to play some sound from Bobby Petrino's press conference yesterday, and I thought he had a really interesting take on this whole matchup, not just against UAPB, but a guy who was a coach at FCS level at Missouri State for a few years. Heck, last time he was in Razorback Stadium for a game was coming in with Missouri State. So he's got both sides of the coin here as far as FBS versus FCS is concerned.
And he played in the NEI,
yeah,
the lowest classification, at Carroll College. So he understands little against big.
So here was Bobby Petrino on FCS matchups.
I don't really like the matchup. I don't think it's really what we want in college football. I've always felt like the big conferences should just take money and give it to the FCS and everybody play a more competitive schedule and keep college football going. When Mark Richt used to come to all the head coaches meetings, he was the person that stood up for college football and at every level. And he had a lot of really good ideas how we could take care and keep college football going at all the different levels that there is, not just at that very, very top. So I think you play those games in the FCS because you need it. And the one thing about it is football didn't get a lot of the money. It took care of all the other sports. So it's just a necessity for FCS. But they could fix it and just give them the money.
It really is an interesting opinion on this. FCS schools have to take these games, and FBS schools, they don't have to schedule them, but they do because it does count towards your six and your ability to be bowl eligible, and you got to have as many home games as you can have. I don't like these games either, and I've never understood the idea why it's up to FBS schools to find a way to keep FCS schools afloat in terms of, even what he said, a lot of this doesn't, like how much of the money that Arkansas is paying UAPB goes to football and how much goes to the rest of the athletics department. Like that's a big chunk of their athletic budget, much more so than anybody else that you're going to be playing this next year. So it's not like these games are going to go away though. Will they, Clay?
I don't think so. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen when, the line item expenses have to be made, the cuts for $25 million, that they're going to put into the kitty for, their settlement, the court settlement. And I would assume that at some point they're going, ESPN's going to say, we want 10 SEC games. That's now we're talking about 8 to 9, but the money would be so good, and it would help in that 25 million pot. If they can generate even more TV money, then you might have to do it.
Also, this is something that we've kicked around quite a bit, and you had asked, and I don't think Petrino had spoken about this yet. We did get the answer about where it is that he's going to be calling plays from, and he's calling plays from the sideline. He confirmed that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the sideline. But, you got the clicker now where you can talk to the quarterback and the earpiece, and you can't do that from upstairs. I thought about it. I kind of liked it last year upstairs and calling the game and being away from all the elements that go down there. But I didn't like not being able to see the quarterback's eyes and how they were reacting and what was going on the sideline. So I think it's the right decision to be down.
Well, you hear it both ways. That people are like, well, I don't like it up there. I want to be able to get in my quarterback's head. It's like, if I see the wrong look in the eyes, I'm gonna shake that out of him. I've seen coaches do all kinds of crazy stuff in that regard. Ken Stevens at UCA is the head coach, but he's also the play caller. He finally went to the box. He's the head coach, and he's in the box. Hugh Freeze, I guess, didn't he have a back issue where he had to coach from the press box for a few games?
He had to coach the game from a gurney.
And he said it was good.
He was in a gurney.
Yeah.
Jim
that's
Harbaugh
right.
coached
Yeah,
it from his house last week, the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah. He was bedridden in the press box. That's exactly right.
So he says he wants to see the quarterback's eyes. And I would assume that's also, Matt, not just to see his eyes.
Well, he can
on
talk
the
as
field,
well.
but up in person, face to face.
That's kind of the thing that you like to be able to have that eye to eye with your quarterback. But didn't he say, it sounded like he said, to be on the clicker, you have to be on the sideline.
You do.
So that's a no-brainer then, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other part is, and he didn't say this, but he wants the quarterbacks to see his eyes.
Right, exactly. No, exactly. Hey, this is serious here. Like, shake it off and let's go.
When he says, his nice little lines of dadgummit, is that what he says? Gosh darn it. That's not what he says.
Some form of that with a few extra things thrown in there.
Yeah.
Clay, I've wondered about this because every quarterback that played for Bobby Petrino had been asked what it was like to play for him. And we've heard the stories of, screaming and yelling and maybe a couple of insults and stuff. And I don't think he's that kind of person right now. But, this deal with Tua Tagovailoa and Brian Flores, now the defensive coordinator at Minnesota, the Minnesota Vikings, and was the head coach of the Dolphins for a couple of years. Now, Petrino's a quarterback coach, first and foremost, and an offensive coordinator and then head coach.
And one of the things about D coordinators, Phil, I've been around a handful of them, they do not care about your feelings. Like, not one iota do they. You better get some tough skin. It's serious. It's a different mentality on the defensive side than it is offense. You kind of coddle a little bit more. You kind of got to put your arms around them and do that. Defense, it's a totally different vibe. They do not care about your feelings.
Yeah, hey, sick them, go get the ball.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or we'll find somebody else that will.
If you don't, and it's like I can remember the great line. It was back in the glory days, and their defense was pretty good, and something was happening. I think it might have been Tulsa was going up and down the field on them, and they didn't beat them, but they were throwing the ball around, and Coach Broyles went to the defensive coaches and said, "Get that fixed."
Right.
And the translation from Wilson Matthews and the other coaches on getting it fixed was a completely different language. They didn't tell anybody we're going to get it fixed. There were all kinds of adjectives between get it and fixed.
But I don't remember hearing any of the Razorback quarterbacks that he worked with, go in that direction of speaking of him in the same terms like Tua used. And it's really kind of shocking to hear him refer to Flores as a terrible person.
But it seemed like he was talking down to Tua. That's the other thing. I think Petrino, he gets on you and he's fired up, but it's consistent as well. And that's I think that helps when you're consistent.
and there is that mutual respect.
There
that
you
he-
go. There was
that
a
he
lack of
had.
respect with Tua. Yeah. Or
And
with Flores.
The
Sorry.
players know, and when they do it right, Bobby can give them that feedback that was it, man. And I mean it, and it can be from a long distance away, a hand gesture, a fist, like that's it. You did it. And I mean, and he will go over and talk to him in a good way. Now he'll talk to him in a tough way, but I think he understood quarterbacks are different. And I heard coaches like Danny Ford coach them the same way. You coach Barry Lunny the same way you coach Brandon Burlsworth and Russ
Joe Dean
Brown and
Davenport.
Grant Garrett. Yeah, we're gonna coach quarterbacks the same way. Coach Burrell's like, no, you do not coach quarterbacks the same way. The psyche that you have with a quarterback, there is it has to be on an intelligence level that they understand what you're trying to do as far as motivation, or when you want to rip them. But I think Bobby coached quarterbacks different than he did other players. I think there's some firmness to it. Mallett told me that. Tyler Wilson told me he got after him in the meeting room. But I think it was usually when they deserved it.
Yeah, and then there's how Bobby Petrino views kickers.
I don't watch the kicker. I quit watching kickers after last year's experience. I don't watch him at all. Not in practice, not nothing. I don't watch. I ask him, did he make it? And they say yes or no, and that's all I know about kicking the ball. I've been around some great kickers. Now we had the Lou Groza kicker winner at Louisville one year, and little Art Carmody, and we had a heck of a kicker here when I was here. But last year's experience made me quit watching, don't watch practice, and then hopefully they'll make it in the game. But I know this, when it's a 2-minute drive, we're going to go try to score a touchdown.
That's the right approach.
That's what he thinks about a kicker. I like watching him kick extra points much more than field goals.
So, when they had the field goal go off the bar against Texas A&M and lost that game, and it was like people want to blame the kicker. The offense should have gone and scored a touchdown. That's how you win that game. You run out the clock and punish them in the end zone on the last play. That's how you do it. And if you set up your offense in that situation, we're going to win it with a kick, and you've got a little more time, and you're asking for it.
877-377-6963. If you want to get with halftime, we'll take a quick break and come right back.
Got a 911 with a quadraphonic Blaupunkt. Don't need a quadraphonic Blaupunkt. What you need is a curveball.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
This is Halftime.
Matching down payments up to $2,500 right now at Harry Robinson, Sallisaw Ford.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
A little green bag. Just the kind of losing my mind. Outside in the night, outside in the day. Back on the track, do it my way. Silent today. Back on the track, do it
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Oh, man, I really wish I was like a real radio DJ now so I could do the K-Billy DJ voice from Stephen Wright. Now that we're doing Reservoir Dogs
Super songs of the 70s.
Man, I just can't. I don't do a good Stephen Wright. But this makes me want to go back and listen to some of his comedy from the 80s and the early 90s, and maybe even listen to the soundtrack at the same time. Guys, perception is really an amazing thing. This is a story just coming out on CBS Sports from a couple of their college basketball guys, Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander. They say they spent a month surveying over 100 Division I men's basketball coaches for a series that they call Candid Coaches. And one of the questions they asked is, give us 3 teams that you think have the best situation for NIL in college basketball. So this is what the perception is of these more than 100 college coaches. And they named Arkansas more than anybody else. They could name 3 schools. So on these ballots, Arkansas appeared on almost 74% of the ballots. Second place was Kansas at 43%. That's a 30 percentage point difference, 35 percentage point difference, really. or 30.5 percentage difference, which is amazing. I mean, I think in a lot of people's eyes or minds, we're always going to remember the $6 million figure that was thrown out there when Cal was hired, and you knew there was some sort of NIL war chest. That dollar figure, I think, has been challenged in some cases, but it's still an opaque thing. Like, we don't know how much money is being given to NIL for Arkansas basketball or anything else. But as far as the coaches are concerned, across Division I college basketball, men's basketball, nobody can touch what Arkansas has.
You know, it's the thing that I always say, coaches understand what's out there. They're going head to head, and you know, they may be challenged to, hey, you need to raise the offer because this is what that school, and you don't know whether it's real or not. But by and large, if they want to come to your school and they give you a number, you have an idea that that number is at least in the ballpark with what they've got if they're committed. I'll never forget Nolan Richardson was trying to recruit Byron Houston. I think he was at OC Douglas or someplace, you know, in Oklahoma City, one of the powerhouse schools. And Oklahoma State was after him, and it might have been Leonard Hamilton. And Nolan went into the house, and all the furniture was brand new washer and dryer, new appliances everywhere, you know, fancy refrigerator. And he's like, he just sat down and he's like, where's your son going to school? Because he knew he wasn't going to Arkansas at that point. And he's like, you can total it up. You can look around. It's like this is about $6,000 worth of stuff, you know, in 1984. And you knew exactly what it was going to take to get him. And I mean, Nolan walked out at that point. It's like, good luck at Oklahoma State. And he was an all-conference player there. But I don't think there's a lot of question among the coaches of what's being spent. I think they have a pretty good clue. So if they all think it's Arkansas, it probably is.
They were also asked, what's the most amount of money that somebody has asked you or your staff to pay for a player? So, I mean, this is coming from coaches who have had this experience. Over 10% said $2 million or more. This is for a basketball player. 40.6% said between $1 and $2 million, and then a little less than half said less than $1 million. And a lot of this probably has to do with what league you coach in and what team you're coaching, because if it's the SEC, I'm imagining quite a bit would be between $1 to more than $2 million. So they also said on this Candid Coaches series that John Calipari was the best high major coaching hire of 2024. And they also apparently think that Kansas will be the best team with Alabama second. So it's interesting. But this is about how you perceive things, but also, yes, some of this also might have to be about these coaches are probably in the know about it more than anybody else. 877-377-6963 to get with this here. I don't know if Ole Miss needs to be asking their local Coca-Cola bottler for any NIL funds. Did you get a load of the answer here? You know, I don't remember who's
got a day and a half worth of sugar in it. Yeah.
You heard this. Well, here,
so that's where you keep the sugar.
There's always a Coke bottle in front of Lane Kiffin when he's up in front of the media, but I'm sure he doesn't drink it.
Does anybody drink Coke? You realize that 130% of your sugar for the entire day is in this one bottle. 65 grams of sugar.
When was the last time you had a Coke?
A long time. Chris Lowe drinks Coke, though. I do know that. All right. Let's see you guys.
That is true. You do.
Man, you got to appreciate honesty. He could have said, wow, it's got a lot of calories in here, but have you tried Coke Zero? It tastes just like. He could have gone into a commercial mode right there.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo a couple years ago did that at a Champions League, post game. He's like, get that out of here. And they were like, the stock went down 7.5%. I don't think Lane Kiffin made Coca-Cola's stock go down, but Ronaldo could.
Well, I guess they're going to have to put a Dasani bottle up in front of him the next time.
Nobody drinks. Who? If you're a child, you drink that stuff. No, nobody drinks soda. Like we've overcome with all the information on the interweb, with all the technology we have that's going on, all the information we have to us about our dietary needs. People still drink soda?
Yeah, believe it or
not. I got
not.
one sitting right here. I'm sorry,
Whoa.
Matt,
Believe it or not, they do. I've got
Straight up, unleaded Coke.
I've got radio partners that have 2 or 3 Cokes a day and refuse to drink. It was Rick. I mean, when Rick and I did baseball, and Arkansas was still a Pepsi school. He would refuse to drink the Pepsi. He would come in
Pepsi over Coca-Cola all day too.
He would
Pepsi's
bring
way better.
I like Mountain Dew.
He would bring a come and go Coca-Cola, one of those big large ones, like the biggest one you could get. And slurp on that slowly throughout the entire game. And I'm thinking to myself, we're taking stances here, like what feels like a morality stance maybe for him about Coke over Pepsi. And Matt, you're one of the only people I've heard on these airwaves go with Pepsi.
Pepsi all day, every day. If I was to choose a soda to drink, it would be Pepsi. Like my number one list on the list. If you saw me drinking one, it would be a Pepsi.
Well, you're part of the new generation.
I don't know if I'm a part of anything, but we would go Pepsi one. But I'm with Clay. I know a lot of people that are big time Mountain Dew. You see people go to the gas station, they get a pack of smokes and a large Mountain Dew, and you're just like, we're living, man.
2 liter.
That's America right there.
Oh boy, I got in trouble drinking Mountain Dew when I was about 22. My breakfast would be a triple pack of Twinkie and a Mountain Dew.
Man, you must have gotten with some of the folks that I worked with in college radio.
I weighed 140.
Everybody at the college radio
6
station,
foot 140,
except for me, was drinking. I mean, they would carry around a 2 liter of Mountain Dew all day long. That was their liquid for the day.
Across the street from Log Cabin Democrat, and after about 6 months, my eyelids started fluttering.
So I'm wrong. I'm in the minority. Everybody around me drinks soda, so I dig it.
Yeah.
And we get Joe texting in that the diet sodas aren't any better. You're right. I mean, I would drink the sugared soda over the diet soda. And actually, I would just drink water, or you can go the direction Matt Jones goes.
The Mexican cola, in the glass bottle, that's probably the last one I've had. I'll have about 3 of those a year, it seems like.
But you might have 3 or 4 Topo Chicos a day.
I drink about 12 waters a day. Like there's minimum 8, but yeah, 12 waters a day.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2 in just a minute.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
This is halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey,
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swart Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swart Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swart Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swart Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch.
Oh, I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair. And I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Bounce to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
And the premiere of Sam Pittman Live is tonight, 7 o'clock. Chuck Barrett, of course, with Sam Pittman. Josh Braun and Jaden Johnson are the guests. And we can get it going again next week as well. Though I believe next week's show is Tuesday, because you got a Thursday game.
Catfish Hole, be there or be square.
As always, that's right. So you're from Travis Williams, 6'10", defensive coordinator, and then Coach Pittman after that, about 50 minutes afterwards.
You know, they're really high on Jaden Johnson. You know, as a guy that's played a lot of football, started every game last year. There's a lot of people that think in this day and time, you know, what your safeties do, because everybody's trying to get a matchup in the middle of the field, and then they've got to also play run. It's the hardest position in football, the physical nature of it, the shoulders, like how your safeties are going to do. And you can go back through history, and I like to pick out defenses with pass rushers, but if you got an Atwater or a Hamlin or a Tony Bua or Kenoy Kennedy, your defense has got, or Jalen Catalon until his shoulders busted up. I mean, those safeties, Greg Lasker, I can go back through history. Harry Jones in '64, fastest guy on the field. Your safety's the fastest guy. It's hard to give up a big play.
So, again, that's tonight, 7 o'clock. We got the starting right guard, Josh Braun. And then I really like what I saw from Jaden Johnson last year, too.
Strong safety. He plays with an attitude. I think he got a little big at one point, maybe a couple of years ago, and they've got him lighter last year. And I think he's figured out that 215, 218 isn't his weight, 207, 208. And John McDonald always told me, he says, they make those defensive backs too big. Keep them where they can run.
Well, that's the track guy wanting them. Yeah, no, to tackle an SEC.
Oh, he said that about Batman.
To tackle an SEC running back, you better add
have
about.
A little,
yeah, you're going to get
got
hurt.
Some lead in your pencil.
You see what happened to Luke Haas last year. Is you gained 17 pounds, and it's just it's a collision sport. Football's a collision sport. That's the Noah Lyle, Tyreek Hill thing. It's like, of course, Noah Lyle is going to beat Tyreek Hill in any type of foot race, but who's the better athlete? Tyreek Hill's the better athlete.
He's as good as there is.
You see, he's got a thumb issue. He's not partaking in practice today. Like when I heard about Tyrone Broden having a turf toe, That made me nervous, but it seems he's back to a full participant in practice now, although I don't think he scrimmaged last week. Turf toe worries me.
It does not go away.
Anything with a thumb issue for a wide receiver, makes me
thumb
worried
and
as
big
well.
toe, yep. Big toe on turf toe. I can remember Ike Forte battling that and some others.
Cedric Cobbs would have had 1,000 more rushing yards in the record books if it wasn't for turf toe. No doubt about it.
And that might be a shoe issue.
Well, it could be with whatever, Adidas are a little more narrow than Nike usually. I mean, but now they all get custom made. I mean, now you all get your shoes are all custom made to your foot.
You pick it out.
Stay with us. Clay Henry's with us as well for another hour. We'll come back right after this for more halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Tonight, we'll end up with a mainly clear sky, upper 50s to near 60. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, low to mid 80s. And then Friday, sunny skies, the high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 8 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that we respect it.
Smith, I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house. And the dunk.
said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Back for a third hour halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson along with Matt Jones and Christian Johnston producing. We have the one and only Clay Henry with us for another hour here on halftime. And just looking at some of these headlines here. This was this is interesting. Have you read about this guy, Daryl? I don't know how to pronounce his nickname. Daryl Doucette. His nickname is spelled Housh. Housh, I don't know. But apparently he is a star flag football quarterback who is pretty peeved that when flag football makes its debut in the Los Angeles Olympics in 4 years, that the understanding is that there should be some NFL players, if not all NFL players that represent the United States. This guy has actually said that this is a quote. I feel like I'm better than Patrick Mahomes because of my IQ of the game, unquote. Can I just lay out there for a moment? This isn't even somebody that's ever played a down in the NFL. I think it's my understanding is he might be 5'7".
Well, I've already made an opinion on this guy. He's not as smart as he thinks.
How many people have ever already said this now? I am a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
You know who? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna end it right there.
But for 7-on-7, Tua would be like the best quarterback. Like if you're talking about NFL guys to say who would come over because it's 2.5 seconds is he gets the ball. That's kind of what you do in 7-on-7. You put Tyreek Hill, Amon St. Brown from the Lions. You take Justin Jefferson, and then you take a tight end from. Get out of here, man!
You can bring Drew Brees back for this stuff.
You know what? That's Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Go get some old heads.
Brees got it out quick.
Let Terrell Owens go try out. He's always showing a video of him working out.
Yeah.
I think
Drew Brees can't throw anymore. Clay, the shoulder thing.
Get Dan Marino back out there.
But that style, somebody that gets it out quick, just like Tua. You're right.
This is just hilarious. It's a different sport. Like, I get it. I think he's trying to say he's a better flag football quarterback than Patrick Mahomes, but that's not the words that I read at that moment.
Would you want like a Jeff Garcia, Doug Flutie? Is that the type of style, I guess, that you want in flag football?
I'm not sure that, you just got to get close enough to pull the flag. So it's like, I don't know, Michael Vick or I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Vick would be.
But it might be more akin to Canadian football. It might be. I don't know. I've watched a lot of flag football because I've got a godson out in Loveland that plays it, and I enjoy watching him. And to see that, flag football is a different game, so I'll give the guy that. But there's some speed and quickness, and if he's 5'7", 5'7" guys they're not going to win a foot race usually. They're quick, but they're not going to. And so there needs to be some plays where the quarterback makes it with his feet.
The only thing is, so it's like we'll refer to track and field and a lot of those kind of sports as the Olympic sports, right? But if we're talking flag football, that's an intramural sport.
No question.
That's like, okay, let's take softball that's going to be in the Olympics.
It's for little kids.
It's not the softball that they're playing at the intramural fields next to Razorback Road. That's that. Now you're talking slow pitch. So this is the next scouting land. It's all the intramural fields across the country will now be scouted. We're actually going to play flag football.
So would you think that Andy Reid would tell Patrick Mahomes, I'd really rather you don't play flag football this summer?
Well, in 4 years, Yeah, I would say the same thing, but it was going to be the same
Your
idea. It was
quarterback,
like,
no, I really didn't. Or your receiver, really don't think I want you doing that.
see, I wonder what will
That
happen
August.
with
It's August.
But
That's
I wonder
when it
what will
is.
happen with baseball in the Olympics, because it's going to happen in the middle of the baseball season. You know, I mean, the WNBA players, they took 2 weeks off. The NHL, when they have their players go play in the Winter Olympics, they take 2 weeks off. Major League Baseball, that's why they've had the World Baseball Classic, so they don't have to take 2 weeks off in the middle of the regular season. They can have an international competition. So
August is different.
Anyway, I went to Pro Football Talk's website to pull up a couple of stories that I was interested in, and the first thing I see is some guy saying, I'm better than Patrick Mahomes. But it wasn't somebody who's actually ever played it down in the NFL. But there's good news and bad news for former Razorbacks who are in the NFL right now. Hjalte Froholt has agreed to a 2-year extension with the Arizona Cardinals. $8 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Deal is reportedly worth up to $12 million. Wasn't he at center for them last year? I thought I saw him as their starting center. So 48 games, 23 starts over a career that's been going now for 4 years. And hey, it's nice to get that extra contract and $8 million guaranteed. Nothing to sneeze at.
Did you ever get to spend any time with him?
No.
Love him. I mean, and I think he just is now tapping into all of his, he didn't play football growing up. I mean, he played it, I would say, where he grew up, football is like an intramural sport. But I think he's, every year he's better. I don't think he's reached a peak yet. And I think his, the front office there, they know that. That's why they gave him the money. He's still getting better. And he still loves it, I think. He loves the game.
They're a tight end that's come here and transferred in to Arkansas that is also from Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andreas Pashka. I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce his name until I heard one of the reporters at the presser yesterday with Petrino say it's Andreas Pashka, 6'6", 265 from Copenhagen. And transferred in from East Michigan. I think he'd referred to
I think he knows Yelda, too.
Yeah.
He's had some conversations with him when he came here.
The other bit of news, and this is not good news. Traylon Burks exited today's Titans practice early, made a catch, and went down hard when he came up, favoring his right hip, lower back. Went gingerly back into the building with a trainer, and no update about this just yet. So it's injury concern, but nothing to report outside of the idea that he had to go back into the building. And I mean, this is somebody that's been that was held to 11 games each of the last 2 years, and injuries have been a concern for him throughout his pro career.
Well, you have to go all the way back to high school.
That's true.
He tore an ACL in high school, so it's been something. It was a foot injury here. It's been something his whole football career. You just don't get to see him, running free and at his peak. It's just there's always something. And, great guy, too. Kind of like Yelda, you really pull for him.
He's a heck of a football player. It's
great hands.
I think he's a cusp, just a step below. Like he could be an all-pro type talent. Like he's right below that all-pro level. If you could get to see him fully healthy, there's no reason in today's game why he couldn't have 800 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns, 72 catches in a season. Like no question about it.
Just have to stay out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you ever shook his hand, Phil?
No, but I know he's got giant hands.
It's like 5XL. It's the biggest gloves you can get, and they're snug. I shook hands with Scottie Pippen one time, and his fingers came up to the middle of my, my forearm. I mean, it's just like I couldn't believe it. And you just wonder, why does every ball that hits their hand stick? That's why.
He didn't really have too many injuries or missed a lot of time at Arkansas because of injury. He's there for 3 years, and he just missed a couple of games. I know that first year he was a little bit limited because of the knee injury from the year before.
Still recovering for that. He was never in condition. Yeah.
Missed one game in 2020, and I can't remember what the reason was, and then played in all 12 regular season games in 21 before opting out for the bowl game.
Yeah, there was a period where he couldn't practice. He just played games, that's a miserable way to do it. I mean, it's just you're not going to be on the same page with your quarterback. But I'll never forget that game in Tuscaloosa and Bryant Denny when he put the team on his back. I mean, it was a bunch of incredible plays. It's like he was those little Alabama defensive backs, like they were little gnats, pestering here, and it didn't matter.
877-377-6963 as we work through our 1 o'clock hour here on Halftime. Great deals right now at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until next year on select New Holland equipment. 0 for 60 months or up to $10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 months or up to $10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or choose 0 for 72 months plus an additional $2,000 cash back on a new compact. No money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress. Stay with us. Halftime back after this.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
This is Halftime.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Matching down payments now through the end of the month up to $2,500 at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Troy, there's no other way. This is free cash.
Yes, definitely. I'm excited, man. Tommy, we are going to be matching your down payment up to $2,500 from now until the end of the month. Close of business, August 31st. We're done doing it. You guys love it. We brought it back. Let's make some deals happen. Come down here. Let us save you some money and let us match your down payment up to $2,500.
You know, if you're upside down in a vehicle, you're behind on the equity, this is a great way to catch up out of the gate.
100%. This money can eliminate negative equity. It can get you a cheaper payment. It can get you a better interest rate. It's a plus. It's a win-win. Come down here and see us. Let us match your down payment up to $2,500.
Hey, if you've went elsewhere and been told you're upside down, this is a great way to get out at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. Matching down payments up to $2,500. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw, and online at harryrobinson.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
This summer at Hardee's, the BLT gets an upgrade with the new Frisco BLT Angus Burger and Frisco BLT Hand-Breaded Chicken Sandwich. The classic flavors of bacon, lettuce, and tomato, atop a famous charbroiled burger or signature hand-breaded chicken sandwich, all between 2 thick slices of toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Rolling along here through your 1 o'clock hour on halftime. We got Clay Henry with us as well. That was a request from Clay Henry.
Yes.
Actually, his real request was a KC and the Sunshine Band song.
That's close enough. Same style.
Mm-hmm.
Disco takes me back to my college days, going to the Checkmate Club, my leisure suit, my black patent leather zippered boots.
Did y'all play chess at the Checkmate Club, or
there was nothing?
No chess
akin to that.
That was
Is there a little white man's overbite too? Like, what was the song that got me doing the overbite last night or yesterday?
Oh, yesterday. Yeah, we
Forget
played
which
all
one that was.
70s tunes.
It's funny you mentioned about
Al
chess.
Stewart, maybe.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly
the Year
what
of the
it was.
Cat.
Year of the Cat, which was in honor of me and got me to do the.
Does
overbite.
Clay know you got little Jerry Seinfeld? Have you told Clay about the?
I got a kitten. This was a couple of months ago. Yeah.
No, I knew you were getting one, but that's the name.
Well, his name's Jerry, but we just sort of refer to him as little Jerry Seinfeld sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little pain in the ass every once in a while. It's okay. He hopped up on our on our live webcast yesterday in the middle of the show and
made an appearance.
A couple of people noticed him too. Yeah. Little Jerry. He's cute. Just ask the other cat what she thinks of him, and she'll say something completely different.
He's definitely the gray horse. So if you were going to the racetrack, you're going to put some money on him. That's for sure.
He is the Traylon Burks of kittens, though, because he's got the biggest paws you've ever seen for somebody that might be like 5 months old.
Now,
this kitten's got big mittens.
He sure does, Clay. Well done.
How do you trim a cat's paws, their nails, or do they just kind of go off on their
It takes a
own?
little effort,
You
but
gotta
it does,
do a little bit.
it does help.
Yeah.
I'll say
You can
this.
have them removed, but that's cruel.
That's
to me.
not nice.
Yeah.
That's not nice to do. I don't own any furniture that I care about.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter in terms of that. Now, as far as if they scratch the kids or scratch me, now we're talking.
We're getting into
But that's
discipline.
kind of accepted by when you own a cat. You know you're going to get scratched at least 3 times a year, right?
Well,
Like,
if you own a cat,
dog scratch you too.
You have a realization that you don't own the cat. The cat owns you,
That's true.
and you're basically paying rent for the feline to have a place to live, because that's what happens. I mean, I'm gone almost more than I'm here anyway. So
cat runs the show.
that's right. We got to
Yeah,
make sure the
cats
air
are
conditioning
important.
is left at a certain level for them.
Over here on the river, you have a cat, you got no problems with mice. Zero.
I don't have any problems with. We didn't have
They
any
have a
problems
joy-
with
they
mice.
have a
at the-
job.
We didn't have a problem with mice at Raywinder Field because there were cat colonies that lived
have
under
a
the
cat.
stands.
Yep.
What's the biggest smell that you associate with a baseball park, Matt? What do you think? The smell. First thing you think of a smell at a baseball park.
Popcorn.
It's a good one. Clay.
Popcorn, yeah, that I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one I think of, only when I'm thinking of old Raywinder Field, is cat pee. Because it was
Oh, the urine. Yeah.
everywhere. That was the thing that fans didn't really know. The players knew it, and they couldn't get that smell out of their nostrils. It's everywhere in both clubhouses. While you were dodging black widow spiders, there were also lots. I mean, the scent was awful.
what are the walnuts and the praline pecans? That's kind of another smell when you're walking around the concourse.
Yeah, like the sweet
that sugar
nuts.
smell. You
Yeah.
get that. That's one that I associate with baseball.
Good one too. Hot dogs rolling and popcorn popping and the grass being cut and the smell of my pencil writing lineups down an hour before first pitch, so I can feel really good about being ready to go. It's about right. Jamie says the kettle corn at Baum. That's the other one too. Kettle corn. I smell that at Baum. And for some reason, every time I smell kettle corn, I think of where the Giants train in Scottsdale Stadium. And anytime I smell garlic fries, I think of the Giants ballpark, which is, what is it now? AT&T Park was Pac Bell Park, because that was the first place that was these garlic fries, which were just disgustingly good. And I'm at the point now, because last time I was at that park was like 23 years ago, and I could have literally eaten a lead pipe and been okay. I can't even eat the garlic any longer because I just can't sleep. It doesn't work. Oh, well. You brought up chess, and this kind of was interesting. Is there an article in the Democrat today about Addison Nichols and Josh Braun, both transferring in over this Braun in his second year at Arkansas, Nichols was at Tennessee, and Braun was Nichols' host when he was being recruited by Florida. And Nichols said that what they did was they went to a coffee shop and played chess because that's what Braun chose to do with him. And it made him think he was a little bit different. He even called him nerdy because of this. This is the quote. He was so different. We went to a coffee shop and played chess. I thought that was just the coolest thing because it was different. He knows what he likes, and he knows if you don't like this, then, oh, well, I'm me. And I respect that a lot about Braun. It's funny. You would never think about, we're going to go play chess at a coffee shop when you're recruiting somebody in to play offensive line or any position for football for that matter. It just kind of hit me. It was a little bit different than I would have expected to. Matt, did you play board games with anybody on a recruiting visit?
Backgammon is, I got to play backgammon in Central Park and up there in it might not have been Central Park, but in New York, you're walking around and there's stuff like that, and got to play backgammon. That was a game my father taught me when I was young. So it was, it's kind of like Jaylen Brown. He said his grandfather taught him how to play chess, and that's what it's something he likes to do. But backgammon was the game I liked. Yeah.
So I have great memories growing up with my dad and playing dominoes.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that was it as a young boy. And I played gin against him, and he was a great gin player. Counted cards. You didn't beat him. But dominoes was the game that they played in the Depression, he and his brothers and sisters, and he brought that up really as a young age. We played against him in dominoes because it was a great counting game and good for your math, good for learn those divisibles by 5 pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. The double sixes, right? You didn't go over that, huh?
Yep, but it was a lot of fun to sit and match wits. And then in college, we played spades in the student union at UCA. The card game. There was always 2 or 3 spades game going on.
Did you ever play? I played a lot of spades at Northside. Then in Jacksonville we played Tonk, which is it's another game.
Yeah,
like
played that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
You think offensive linemen get together and play Hungry Hippos?
There's not a lot of them playing chess. There's not. I mean, I can just about guarantee that.
Yeah, but I'm also
told on a plane, because it's a lot of times you're in a bus or a plane playing with everybody. Maybe the hungry you could fit it there. Maybe
the hungry.
Yeah.
But you'd have stuff going everywhere.
Yeah.
I figure chess actually fits for offensive linemen because you've even talked about it, Matt. I mean, it is a cerebral position to play.
Very
it's not just bulk. I mean, it's
some are, some aren't.
Yeah, that's true. It's not all in one group, but usually they're in unison. I mean, my 4 years at Arkansas, my 4 years in Jacksonville, same thing, man. You saw that one offensive lineman, you saw all of them.
You saw 15. That's it. That's right.
Well, all right, but when
in
you
NFL, what's there, 8 or 9?
And you see them all together. That's right. At least you kind of hang out in their groups.
But when you're hosting somebody for a recruiting trip, your job. What is your job when you are hosting someone on a recruiting trip? Matt? As someone that did this before, what did you view as your job?
Well, you just be relatable and don't try to be anybody that you're not, and just it's kind of listening to what the recruit says, because usually there might be a couple other buddies that are there with them. They all know each other. You know, some of them say, "Hey, when are you taking your visit to Arkansas? I want to take it the same week you're taking yours." And then you try to hang out and find out what their likes and dislikes are, and you kind of just steer them that way. Kurt Davis was my guy that took me on, my recruit, and dude, just phenomenal. I've still,
he's one of my favorite Razorbacks.
Still to this day,
that.
love Kurt Davis.
I can remember Sarah, when she was picking a college, she went on some trips, and I'd stay in the hotel. Well, she'd stay in the dorm with the athletes, and I'd be Saturday morning. We're about to go watch a game. I said, "Well, do you like this place?" He goes, "Dad, they made me the designated driver last night." And I was like, "Well, did you want to participate?" "No," but says, why would you make the recruit be the designated driver? Well, you go out and get plastered the night before a game. Wasn't a good look. I can tell you the school.
Definitely not a good look. But it's like, I guess sometimes
she wasn't going there. Yeah.
Well, I guess sometimes we think it's a matter of just show this person a good time. Let them think that, make them think or show them,
it's a party school.
What is fun about this school. But I appreciate where you're coming from here, Matt, about being real, being who you are. Because I think a recruit, anybody, would be able to tell if you're being fake and who wants to be around that.
And a lot of times, let's go play video games. We're going to go play. And you talk about going to play chess. Same concept right there. You're strategic. You're playing against each other. And you're able to talk trash. Who'd we have on from the SEC media days? And that's all our interview was basically them talking trash about the rules of the game.
It was Taylor Green and Armstrong.
That's right.
It was the two of them. They basically spent the entire time talking crap to each other, which was as entertaining as anything else.
Yeah. Well, it's Barry Switzer told me from the jump, what made him a great recruiter. It was picking the right host for his players.
See, and I wonder if
they understood what I was, and they gave the recruit, okay, you may not be getting anything to come here. You come here, you'll be taken care of. And then they tell them how.
I wonder, too, if you talk about taken care of, how do you think the question now would also be asked, all right, bud, how much you asking for? How much you expect to get paid here?
Don't they? Yeah, you talk about stuff like that.
It's got to come out now, right? I mean, it was probably coming out even when all this stuff was under the table. So now it's over the table, but you can't see the table. And, I mean, this is, information going back and forth. It has to. Interesting things about recruiting trips. 877-377-6963 to get with us. Hey, we've got the finals for the football trip of a lifetime coming up very, very soon. Got the Morning Rush Friday for their final early morning show this Friday at the Hardee's location, 1820 Phoenix Avenue from 6 to 9. Of course, the Chuck and Bo show starts on Monday, so that's when the Morning Rush moves 9 to 11. But this Friday, Morning Rush is at the Phoenix Avenue Hardee's location at 6 in the morning. $1.49 sausage biscuits. Sounds perfect. This offer is good at all Fort Smith Hardee's locations and in Sallisaw. And still got a lunch qualifier going on as well later on in the week. And our winner for the Monster Burger Challenge will get the football tickets and all of the other things that go along with it for the football trip of a lifetime. See the Eagles and the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium in November. Brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Back to get into our home stretch of halftime right after this break.
The Jerk Store called. They're running out of you.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger, Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Back at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren with Grant Neal. Grant, I love trucks, and you guys have a great selection of trucks right now.
Well, we're really proud that the manufacturer's stepping up and making the deals really, really great on these new trucks. I mean, I've got a new Silverado right now, $39,896. We've got brand new 2500 HD Duramax diesel trucks with over $3,000 off. I've got a half-ton 1500 6.2-liter V8 Chevy Crew Cab with over $7,000 off, and actually it could be over $8,000 off if you have a qualifying trade-in. Now that GM Financial's stepping up with these great rates, we've got rates as low as 1.9% for well-qualified buyers on select vehicles with a 90-day deferral. That means you buy the car, and you don't have a payment for 3 months. I mean, these are the kinds of deals we've been waiting for all year long.
It's Road Chevrolet. You better get here today. 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Arkansas's favorite car dealer.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
It's kickoff in Arkansas and the 76th anniversary of Razorback football inside historic War Memorial Stadium. Begin the holiday weekend right with tailgating, the Hog Walk, the UA and UAPB marching bands, and Razorback football's 2024 opener. Call the Hogs on Thursday night, August the 29th, in a historic in-state matchup with the UAPB Golden Lions. Kickoff set for 6:30. Get your tickets at ArkansasRazorbacks.com, and we'll see you on Thursday, August 29th, 6:30 in Little Rock.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Billy Ray was a preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered around and started talking, Cousin Billy would take me walking. Out through the backyard we go walking. Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Yes, he was.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Clay Henry with us as well as we take you into the home stretch here on Halftime. Calls and texts at 877-377-6963. The basketball schedule, well, at least the SEC portion of the basketball schedule released for Arkansas yesterday. And, I mean, really the thing that stands, everybody will point to the first time that Cal goes back to Rupp against Kentucky, Saturday, February 1st. What stands out to me here is that they've made an effort, and I guess I should look at the rest of the schedule, meaning the other teams in the league, to see if this is the same idea, is that you've got legitimate homestands now throughout the league schedule. Outside of the final home game, which is March 8th at Bud Walton against Mississippi State, you've got 2 home games in a row. I mean, you have homestands. You have 4 2-game homestands. Ole Miss in Florida, Georgia, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, Missouri, and Texas. And this goes along with, and I would assume these aren't going to be treated as road trips because it's 2 back-to-back games, and usually you're going to go home anyway. But you get back-to-back road games as well. So it's not one off here, one off there, and a couple at home, and then 3 on the road or anything. So there's a rhythm to this, and I've seen that they also released the SEC women's basketball schedule, and the women's team at Arkansas also has maybe not the same amount of back-to-back home games and back-to-back road, but a lot of them, and that's a little different from previously. So it just stood out to me. It's a basketball schedule, and you're going to play these games, and I do like the idea of being able to just stay at home for a full week. That's nice.
Yep. I like playing Texas twice, play LSU twice, play Missouri. I guess you're going to play LSU and Missouri twice every year, and then the Texas will rotate off. That'll be just a 1-year deal twice. Somebody else will be twice next year.
When we make a big deal out of the game that Cal goes back to
February 1st
to Rupp, I was going to go check and see Ole Miss's schedule to see where and when they play against Texas. Now, it's not exactly the same because Cal was there at 15 years at Kentucky, won a national title, did some great things. Chris Beard was at Texas for how long? 2 years, was it? 2 seasons? No,
he was
Texas
at GA there too. Yeah,
Texas
he's got
goes
history.
to Oxford this year, so he doesn't have to make the trip to. I remember what the new building is called. The old one was the Irwin Center. I don't know what the new building.
The
is.
Superdrome.
It was not a bad building. The new one is a heck of a lot nicer, though. So, anyways, there's basketball talk for you. And at Kentucky, February 1st. I guess that would be appointment viewing. Better be a night game. It's a Saturday, but so everybody can kind of schedule around it anyway. I was just happy that the SEC was smart enough to have that on a Saturday instead of a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Somebody that watched practice, I guess they've gone home for a little break and they're back now. Billy Richmond was the dude. Just looked like he could do everything. Defensive whiz. They got a lot of talent, but it's, you just wonder who's going to shine amongst all the talent. Somebody steps up, and I think it might be Billy Richmond.
He is the freshman commit that I think wasn't that one of the guys that his dad played for Cal.
Yep.
He's from Camden, New Jersey, or at least he played at high school in Camden, New Jersey. But
that's where he grew
Memphis.
up. Yeah.
There's a couple guys whose their dad played for Cal. Adut Thiero is one of them from Pittsburgh. His dad played for him, played for Cal too. I think at UMass. So I guess the next thing is now that you got the conference schedule is to get the non-conference schedule released because that's the next thing that we're all waiting on. Still have last year's schedule up on the webpage for the time being.
I think they're still filling in blanks.
Well, how many games did I see? Were there 8 games that I've seen you basically know of? And so with 16 league games, there's still a few left that you got to schedule at that point, or at least that the Democrat or whatever media organization can FOI and find out what contract has been signed. So it does sound to me like there's still a few games left to figure out. So we can't just quite make our plans for November and December just yet. I saw Pete Carroll made his first media appearance since he had a press conference after stepping down as the Seahawks head coach. You remember they said they were going to have him as an advisor. An advisor to the owner now with the Seahawks. Carroll was on KJR radio yesterday in Seattle, and this has to be a no-show advisor job because it sounds like he's only been into the Seahawks building once or twice since he left. Just never had or scheduled a meeting with the new coach, Mike McDonald, just kind of bumped into him in the parking lot when he was there one time. So I don't know how much of an advisor he really is.
Do you think
he says he doesn't know anything going on with the team? Like, he's not paying attention to practice. He's not going to practice. He's staying away from them.
So do you think that's his decision, or they told him, hey, you're an advisor, but we don't need any advice?
Here's a job. It's a no-show job. Please, no show. I don't know. I don't know, maybe would still like his input at some point, but it doesn't sound like either he's interested in doing it. In fact, what he's going to be doing, he said he's going to be teaching, and he didn't detail what it is that he's got going on here, but Pete Carroll will be teaching a class of some sort at USC, which, I mean, think about this here for a moment. He's going back to USC to be some kind of a professor, which
kind of like Peyton Manning a little bit.
Well, Manning did that at Tennessee, right? Yeah.
Well, I think, didn't Urban Meyer do that at Ohio State too, or someplace? I mean, he went back and taught some kind of a leadership seminar or something at Ohio State. It's like, or something. I can't remember.
Thanks, Carroll. Will find
I would like to listen to
follow
Pete
the
Carroll.
rules, right? How to follow the rules and keep your national championship in tow, because that's still a vacated championship.
You know what to call on the goal line when you got Martin.
You got 2 downs. Well,
Yeah.
you know what the way I heard it was it's a check with me play, and it eventually it comes to Russ right there. That it's Russ's thought was to throw it, because then you stop the clock, and it's on the quarterback right there.
Yeah, but you hand it to the big.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, every time. Yeah, you got that guy. You give
That
him the ball.
dude. I mean, I think Phil and I talked about Marshawn Lynch. That borderline Hall of Famer. I think he gets in. I think, and that other Super Bowl probably would have 100% got him in. But man, he had 6-7 years that he was kind of like Eddie Lacy before Eddie. I mean, it was going to be physical. You were going to hurt after the game, and he was still going to get 137 yards on you.
Yeah, and make you like it.
Mm.
And then down a bunch of Skittles.
And eat Skittles,
after the
that's
game.
right.
Carroll said also that he could coach right now if he wanted to. That he could just get back into coaching tomorrow. And I wondered, he's 72. You know what I mean? So that's Matt Brown. I think was 67 when he went back to North Carolina, and is still there. But I just wonder about. I mean, Carroll always came across as younger than what the number of his age was.
He's
and
spry.
Still does. Yes, there's the word that we have to use. If you're older than 70, it's going to have to be spry. Yes.
Saban coached the 70s, so
Belichick, yeah, they're all about that same age.
You know, there's a lot of folks in the media that still think Saban's not done coaching.
This Arkansas Razorbacks, that new. Would you go over the list at who has the best NIL future and go get Saban for the next 5 years?
Well, I mean, they would have to go along with it, right?
I think Coach Pittman's going to be our coach at the end of this year, and I think he's going to be our coach next year. I think we're going to have a good year. I don't think we're going to go 3-9 and he's going to get fired. I think Coach Pittman will be our coach next year as well.
I watched practice Friday, and I was impressed. I got to admit, and it'll come down to key injuries. What kind of depth do they have? Defensive end, safety. Get some guys hurt all at once. It changes real fast. I mean, nobody can lose their starting quarterback, so that's a big part of it. And everybody starts talking about matchups late in the year. You don't know who's got their quarterback. I don't know how you can talk about I think September is interesting because people have most of their players, but after that, you just don't know.
But you did like what you saw. And
I was
Alyssa
impressed.
even mentioned yesterday she knew you were there at practice, the entire practice, and she sounded envious.
Well, it was her husband that got me in, so she needs to talk to Sawyer. The Hogs Plus gig is still going on. I wrote something that I think is out on the U of A website now about the practice, but I think you have to read it all. You got to be Hogs Plus. Oh, the third episode of Switzer comes out Thursday, so 2 of them are out at Hogs Plus. Fun stuff, and I think people will enjoy it, and it's something a little different. I think it's like 3 45-minute movies. That's they could put it one full length, but I don't think you want to watch. What is it? 2 hours of me talking to Barry Switzer.
Well,
but yeah, the practice. I think that I felt like they were more physical. They'll be able to run the ball, like their offensive tackles. I like Marion Harris at left guard. He's been filling in for Kudus, and I think Kudus will have a hard time getting that spot back based on what I've seen. They've got big physical wide receivers, and then they got some speedy guys. I think they've got depth and playmakers at tight end. I think he looks comfortable with what's going on, and that's part of my feeling that they'll be all right. And I like the speed everywhere. It looks like it's improved on defense.
And did they hit on Taylon Green? That's the question you have.
They didn't breathe on him.
No. I'm saying, did we hit like in the portal? Is Taylon Green?
Oh yeah.
That
No, I
guy
think so.
That's gonna.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he going to be more Peyton Thorne, or is he going to be more Brady Cook?
Matt, it is critical that you hit on more than him.
Right, 100%. Yeah.
They have, I think, both tackles. I think the center. You've got 4 out of 5 starters that were at some point portal because Josh Brown was from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 out of 5 in the offensive line, which speaks that they had some misses in recruiting in the offensive line. So that's what they did, is they fixed that. I think they fixed linebacker. I think they've got 5 or 6 linebackers that all can play, and it will be fun for Travis Williams when he mixes and matches with different. He'll have some guys that he'll want to play that are more physical because the other team's playing tight ends, maybe 2 tight ends. Then there'll be some times that he's sprinkling guys in at linebacker that have kind of a defensive background, like Anthony Switzer. So it's fun to watch both coordinators use their personnel, and they have a lot more personnel than they've had in the last couple of years.
Make sure if you are looking ahead to the football season that you got your preseason prop bets gone on Bet Saracen. And got it all for college football, for NFL, NBA, NHL season as well. Major League Baseball's pennant race in full swing, and the postseason is 6 weeks away. All available for you right now on Bet Saracen. Works on your Apple iPhone. Just download from the App Store. Android users from Google Play. Web browsers work as well, BetSaracen.com, but you also got to be inside the state of Arkansas to use Bet Saracen. We'll be back and wrap up halftime right after this break.
Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo!
This is halftime.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar.
Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
All right, wrapping things up here on Halftime today. Clay Henry's joined us for a couple of hours. Matt Jones, Christian Johnston as well. Missed anything? Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out very, very soon. Ruskin and Zach are standing by. They'll take you from 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock, and then we'll do this all over again tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. I had to chuckle listening to this. I always love the idea of how somebody is viewed as being a, quote, old man, unquote, when he's 33, but Derek Carr, I guess, is viewed as an old man. Monty Harrison is going to be viewed as an old man in the Arkansas locker room. But when the Saints played against the Niners last weekend, Carr was asked about being the old man in the quarterback room. Jake Haener, age 25, Spencer Rattler, age 23, are the other couple of quarterbacks. I know Taysom Hill used to be a quarterback there. Sounds to me like he is more of a
athlete, football player.
Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
A lot of everything. Listen to how Derek Carr decided that he was the old man.
Number 2. When did you know you were the old man in the quarterback room?
When neither of them have seen the movie Major League. That's when I knew. I was like, are you kidding me? And I won't say which one, but the other one hasn't seen Remember the Titans. And so I just can't believe it. And I blame myself. You know, I got to teach these guys better. But
it's a good answer. It's a good answer. He must have been Spencer Rattler hasn't seen, I'm guessing it'd be Rattler that hasn't seen Remember the Titans. But the first time I ever thought, yes, I'm getting old, was that's probably the first time I saw a ball player that I was calling a game that was born after 1990. Now they're all born after 1990, so that's just proof that I'm old. But is that really in 1989 is when the movie Major League was released, and neither of these guys have seen it, so that makes them old.
So one of my favorite interviews of all time, I've spent an hour on the phone with Lance Allworth. It's about 12, 15 years ago. and wrote a "Where Are They Now" for Hogs Illustrated. He was coming back for the game when they, I guess they honored Coach Broyles and named the field after him, but he came back for that and wore his letter jacket out on the field. It still fit. But he said that when he got to the Chargers, Charlie Flowers, who, great back from Mariana, I think Mariana, played at Ole Miss, and he looked out there on the field and nicknamed him Bambi. And he said, older players nickname you something, there's nothing you can do about it. It doesn't matter if you like it, you don't like it. He says, nobody wants to be called Bambi, I guess. He said, but it was okay. And he said at the end of his career, they traded him to the Dallas Cowboys, and he said, I'll tell you what's worse than Bambi. He says, all the wide receivers call me Mr. Allworth. He said, I like Bambi better than.
I've had some nicknames that I don't like. But when I'm referred to as sir around the baseball or the women's basketball team,
yep,
that's a nickname that I appreciate where they're coming from, and they're just being polite.
They say Mr. Henry. I said, well, that was my dad.
Sir, have a great day, okay? You too, sir.
Fun show today, guys.
Great stuff.
Thanks, guys.
That's exactly right. For Clay
We'll
Henry,
do it again in a week.
For Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston, and for all the sirs out there, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening to Halftime today. Now get up, get out, and get better.